Have you ever looked out at solar panels on a really rainy day and thought, well, that seems like a waste? What if those same panels could actually make electricity from the rain hitting them? Today, we're doing a deep dive into this pretty surprising idea, rain-powered solar panels. And we're zooming in on Omaha, Nebraska. Turns out it's becoming a real hub for this kind of hybrid energy tech. So our mission here is to unpack how this actually works, what the trade-offs are and why Omaha specifically is shaping up to be such an important testing ground. Okay, so let's dig into the core technology first. We're talking about a hybrid setup. It takes standard heterojunction silicon solar cells, those are pretty common, known for efficiency, and layers them with something called Triboelectric nanogenerators, TNGs for short.
Right. And what's really fascinating here is that TN layer. Basically, picture a surface with tiny grooves. When raindrops hit and slide across it, the friction, believe it or not, generates a small electric charge through electron transfer. It creates voltage, so you get this dual function. It addresses that big drawback of regular solar panels, how they're output tanks when it's cloudy or raining.
That sounds genuinely cool.
Right.
But there's always a but, isn't there? A trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, our sources point out that, okay, you get this rain power, but the solar efficiency in direct sun is about 14%, which is, well, noticeably lower than the maybe 20% you'd get from a standard panel. And in simulated rain, the peak voltage they got was around 2.14 volts.
Which, okay, isn't a huge amount on its own. It's enough to maybe trickle charge something small or add a bit to a battery. But the key is it is generating power when traditional panels would be doing next to nothing.
So that's the deal then. You accept a hit on peak solar performance for better all-weather reliability.
Makes sense.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Why Omaha? What makes this city the place to test this?
Well, Omaha's climate is kind of specific. It gets about 25 inches of rain a year, which is actually less than the U.S. average. And interestingly, big storm systems sometimes seem to split and go around the city. Geography plays a role, the river bluffs, jet stream patterns. So this variability in precipitation, plus you have these big temperature swings, freezing cold to over 100 Fahrenheit, strong winds sometimes, snow, all that means a system that doesn't rely solely on perfect sunshine, one that can grab energy from rain too, suddenly looks really appealing for consistent power. It makes Omaha a fantastic real-world stress test, you see.
Right, so it's the whole package of unpredictable weather, not just the rain itself. And I understand Omaha's already pretty invested in renewables.
Absolutely. There's significant local commitment. You've got companies like Bluestem Energy Solutions, Sandhills Energy. They actually secured, I think it was $33 million in USDA funding recently for renewable projects right there in the Midwest. And their focus is on cutting power costs, making solutions more grid accessible. That lines up perfectly with what these hybrid panels offer resilience. Plus, there's this kind of practical DIY renewable spirit there. You hear about farmers using solar pumps with rain barrels, simple 12-volt systems, car batteries. That sort of hands-on culture makes people more open to trying out and refining newer tech like this.
Which brings us to the money side.
Mm.
Solar panels have gotten way cheaper, like 87% cheaper since 2010, roughly.
Mm.
But these hybrid ones with the extra tang layers, they're going to be more expensive, at least for now, right? Since it's new.
That's true, yeah. It's emerging technology, so the cost is higher up front. But if you look at the bigger picture, Omaha's whole ecosystem, these local companies the USDA support, it really makes it a prime spot to prove out the value, even with the higher initial cost. The long-term benefit of having reliable power in tricky climates, well, that could easily justify the investment there. And that helps bring costs down eventually for everyone else. And of course, you can't forget energy storage. Things like lithium batteries, especially with smart controllers like MPPTs, to maximize the power you capture. They're crucial partners for these hybrid systems to ensure you have power whenever you need it.
So what's the bottom line for you listening? These rain-powered panels offer a real alternative, especially if you're in a place with unpredictable weather like Omaha. So, recapping quickly, hybrid panels use sun and rain. There's a trade-off on peak sun efficiency, but you gain all-weather generation. Omaha's specific climate really highlights why you'd want that, and the local scene seems ready for this kind of innovation.
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we keep pushing on renewable energy, how might our whole idea of solar power change? Could it evolve to mean harnessing not just the sun, but, well, pretty much any natural force we can tap into, maybe completely rethinking energy independence?
That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.